What the fuck are you doing?
Nothing?
You want to watch Steven Spielberg's classic Jaws?
Yeah, no, I mean that's it's an unusual choice for you, but I think it's time we do like a good movie that is worth our attention.
Perfect. We're gonna watch Redwater.
What is that?
All right, guys, here we're gonna talk about the movie Redwater. 2003's Redwater. Now this is something you gotta see. You got Lou Diamond Phillips, you got Christy Swanson, you got Coolio, who is a favorite of the show here.
Exactly.
That alone, that's some huge name recognition, and a shark movie, which are always fun.
Sharks. Yes.
And this is the shark movie where the shark actually looks good.
Okay.
So
That's very shark-like.
I think like if those things alone are not all you need to watch this movie, what more could you want? You got Lou Diamond Phillips, Christy Swanson.
I'm a huge Lou Diamond Phillips fan, and Christy
Chavez
and Christy Swanson, getting older by this time, still looking great.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Absolutely.
And Coolio,
Place in my heart.
Gangsters Paradise.
Yes.
If you got beef, eat a pork chop. One of my favorite lines from him.
I may not be as big of a Coolio fan as you.
I like Coolio's acting almost more than I like his rapping.
Yeah, probably. I think Dracula 3000 is still like his crowning achievement.
Oh yes.
I don't know if he's ever going to be able to top that.
Looking at my Gucci, it's about that time. So if you've seen this or don't care, falls over to spoilers. And if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, guys, so here we are for the spoilers of Redwater. So Redwater, I gotta say, for a movie that has, it's got a gangster, it's got a vampire slayer, it's got a young gun, it's even got Mr. Belding. This movie does not disappoint, I want to say.
I had a band once.
Oh, yeah? What'd you call it? Jerry and the Idiots?
It is what I would picture as like a good low-budget horror movie.
Wow.
It's not scary. It's a TV movie, and it is exactly what you would picture like a TV movie would be. Like there's no outstanding moments for me except for the shark. I think actually looks better than most shark movies.
Okay, but the shark is barely in it.
It is not in it a lot, but that's true of any like usual shark movie. Is that you don't see a ton, and usually what you do see is like a terrible close-up for a second or whatever. But like everything for this to me looks good. Like I can't think of a scene where I'm like oh, that looked really bad. Some look like kind of goofy and fun, like the lady who's on the bridge in the middle of her her little saying, and it comes up and gets her. But like,
we're gonna stop the aggression. We're gonna save this sanctuary. We're gonna preserve the peaceful serenity.
Other than that, like a lot of things, I'm like, no, this kind of looks good. They did a nice splicing of like actual wildlife shark stuff.
I have no complaints about the shark. I feel like it was like I wouldn't say it was anything special, but I think I was like fine with it. I do think that this movie is awful though. I hate everything about this movie.
All right, so let's dig into that. What?
So I realized watching this because this would you call this a like creature feature? Is this in that
anything
category?
with an animal?
People usually say that, right? I think that those creature features are broken up into like two categories.
Okay.
You have your horror, like Tremors or like The Thing. Tremors maybe debatably because the other category is action. Right? Where you have like your crocodiles, you have your like, we got scientists at the North Pole, and we got the commando unit though. Oh, but the thing is so good at eating us. What do we do? And like there's a lot of shooting and a lot of like stuff happening, right? And this is more in that category, right?
Yeah.
And how little the shark's in it. It's really a conflict between Lou Diamond Phillips and Coolio more so than it is a conflict with the shark. The shark's just kind of there.
Agreed.
So like I'm never like you labeled it horror, but I was like, oh, this is not a horror at all. This is like an action movie with a shark in it, kind of. Right?
I would say there are two different types of creature feature movies, and for one, it is yes, like your Tremors, your movie where it is centric around the animal, and like that animal is what is driving every scene, and then there's ones where it's like this is a full blown movie that happens to have a creature in it, and this is that
but
latter.
Like sometimes it's like there doesn't even need to be a shark. Why is there even a shark? You would have you already have a movie, and then you just add a shark.
The thing that I would say definitely like drives this for me is I like Lou Diamond Phillips a lot.
Me too.
Christy Swanson, I think the first time I saw this, I didn't recognize her as who she is.
There's another chick early on, the one who's like denying his bank loan. And I was like, Christy Swanson does not look good.
If you miss one more payment, we will call your note.
You mean take my boat?
We will call your note. How you respond to that call is entirely up to you.
And then Christy Swanson shows up, and they like slow-mo the camera, and they play some music, and I'm like, that is Christy Swanson.
I think
Hello,
that scene where he
hello,
is being
girl.
denied the bank loan is so genius because in the middle of him doing this, he's like, "Where's Mr. Whatever? He's usually handles my loans." And a person comes in from off screen and changes the nameplates like right there.
Where's Mr. Morial? He's the guy I usually deal with.
Mr. Morial has retired. I've taken over his accounts.
Oh.
I'm like, that's a joke. That's funny.
And she's like, he retired. I'm handling all his accounts now.
I'm handling his accounts.
You bitch. Yes.
Lou Diamond Phillips is in a bunch of low-budget horror movies, and I'll say yes, this is the least of which that is actually horrific. But whenever you can be attacked by a shark, that honestly they don't explain super well. So it first seems to pop up on radar when there's an explosion from their fracking or whatever that's called when they're going to get the oil.
Oh, that's right,
thing.
the fucking intro where they're the red lights are blinking, run around, and then there's an explosion, and then a shark just is there.
Find the hole!
And it pops out. So when you first see this, you're like, oh, is this like a subterranean species that has just been released from the rocks?
Must be.
No,
Bullshit.
it's never explained, but there must just be an underground a canal of water that it just came through or something. I don't know.
Like it came through the whole. So like drilling is a central part of this. Lou Diamond Phillips is the baddest drill in the game, but he's hung it up, and now they want him to come back to do more drilling because they can't drill well enough, and they already released the shark by drilling. This is what I like to call wet drilling, where they're in the water and stuff, and that's why the shark's involved.
I could have been called in to solve their problem. I know their biggest issue here with the drilling is the fact that their drill is only 20 feet long.
That's all you ever see.
That's all there is. Because at one point they drop the drill to get the shark, and it can't even touch the floor. The drill is just floating its way down.
It's on a rope or something.
It's
really weird.
It's so not. This is the most oh, we got to make an oil refinery. We only have 20 grand though. Yeah. All right, I got you, fam.
No, I think that the way the drills work is they go down and they put a new section onto the tube or something. But I don't care about that at all. They do use the drill to triumphantly kill the shark.
Yes.
Right.
My statement is more in that their whole little rig is like a houseboat.
It sucks.
Nothing.
That goes without saying that everything sucks in the movie. That's
they keep having to use that same little canal of water that I don't know if it's on a lot that's they have, or if they just have that property or whatever it might be. But it's weird how they keep using that thing. The fisherman has to come to right there. The blah blah has to come right there. That's where they're going. There's 1 inch of water that they have to use, and then when on what's clearly a creek. I believe is even what they call when, in the beginning, two young women are swimming, and she's like, shark in the creek, girl, you gotta be kidding me.
Can't be a shark
some
here.
weird accent she talks with.
Shark in Lake Barrett? Girl, you tripping?
But they're in a creek, and when the young child whose grandfather gets eaten by a shark floats out, he comes out on the ocean. It seems like.
How'd it go, Cap? Better start looking for another job, Emery.
Where they're either that lake is so big at some point where Lou Diamond Phillips' boat first is, or it is the ocean, and somehow that creek fed out into it, and then it would be no issue at all for sharks to swim up into this creek. So it's strange that it's such a shocker.
The movie does not really care about the shark at all.
Not so much until they do. Then everyone and their mother is out shooting water, and one boat has a harpoon gun.
Let's see if that thing works.
Oh yeah.
Where the fuck did that come from?
There's a dude just indiscriminately shooting into the water.
And he almost hits the shark.
Oh, this sequence is amazing because yes, they're in 1 inch of water.
Yeah.
There's boats everywhere, and they're all doing stuff to try. No one can see the shark, but they're just
Yeah.
indiscriminately firing into the water, hoping to hit the shark, and they are just barely missing the shark.
Yeah.
And that's funny. I can appreciate the humor in that.
They're hillbillies.
Yeah.
I do love that I forget his name now. What is
Belding is Balding.
Belding's name. But Belding is using like some like Creole Cajun accent, and I'm like, okay, you have him for like 6 minutes. That's what we use him for. Got it.
That's what we gotta do.
Belding likes the shark movie. He's also a bad guy in Trailer Park Sharks.
Oh.
That came out in the last couple of years.
I think he likes paychecks.
I agree. He does.
He's
like
like,
paychecks.
Mr. Balding reporting for duty. I'm in.
Yeah.
I need this gig.
Go on, Cap.
I like him mostly out of nostalgia. He's not an excellent
Yeah.
actor, but I would put him in things.
No, it's like strange that he's in this, in the role that he's in it. To your point, he's like very little bit in it. He doesn't really do anything funny either. He's not just he's just a dude.
He doesn't come in and save the day. You picture
It's like after the fact or
something would
something, yeah.
happen, and then like he makes some comment from his chopper, which he may or may not have been in. I can't remember if you actually could see him from the chopper. I doubt it.
It's like mic'd, and he's like,
But yeah, and he says something like, all right, if you kill that shark, we split it 50-50. And I'm like, why would he get that? And I'm like, well, you did kill the shark. Do you have any proof? I don't know if they need proof.
Well, how does the end work? I think they're saying like they're not going to claim. So like I was like, oh, perfect. Only the good people are alive. We're in spoilers, right?
Yes.
Everyone dies. They kill the shark, and then he's got a tooth, and they're talking about it. And his like Creole friend, his Bayou friend, is like, maybe let the spirit of Black Creek fucking just like rest. And then he goes and throws the like tooth into the water.
He smiles, Christy Swanson smiles, and he says, yeah, and they expect him to go like, nah, and like keep it or something.
Yeah.
But no.
Well,
or
because-
you expect, now we're gonna find the chest with still a lot of money in it or some happy ending for you.
Yeah.
But no, instead, like he gets stabbed in his chest, but then it's his arm. He like gets his foot bit off. Did you notice like that weird fucking?
It's all
the guy's
a mess,
like, do you want my
yes.
arms up or do you want my arms down? You want me?
Hands up. Drop the knife. Which is it, pal? Hands up or drop the knife? Hands up or drop the knife?
Throws a knife and like kills him because it like hits him like in the heart. I want to say.
I don't even know what I
and
saw.
then,
I don't
like,
know
he's
what
like,
I
"Oh, my
saw.
arm."
Don't kill him. Why the hell not?
They're going for a little night dive.
But Lou Diamond Phillips gets mad, messed up. He should require medical attention.
He deserved a lot of what he got.
Okay, but like the ending though, it's supposed to end with like him getting the money. To your points, he's either supposed to
You'd
get
think.
he's supposed to get
He's
the money
gonna
from
lose
the
the
box,
boat.
right? He's supposed to get the money from the box or the reward for the shark.
Yes.
Right. And he's kissed Christy Swanson and they're gonna teach that guy to swim. They're gonna adopt that Bayou guy and teach him how to swim, and they're gonna be a happy family with this like money or something like that.
You'd think.
But it turns it into a joke that it's not, but not really. I don't know how I'm supposed to interpret this part of the movie.
I can't exactly tell you. I feel like something was supposed to happen at the end, like maybe a stinger after the credits, but it doesn't come.
I let them play out,
as did I.
hoping for him at the bank, being like, "Do you take pirate gold or something, whatever?"
Something.
I don't know.
Or if you're not going to go with either of those, you're going to go a different route. Maybe like he gets paid big from the job because they did find the oil that they were looking for.
Or she says like, "Well, you have to come work with me now," and he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, you couldn't pay for your boat before it was totaled." And he's like, "Oh, the insurance." Or like, "Well, I have to bring my best guy. He can't even swim." LOL. Like do a fucking thing so that I know what's happening because they play the music like we won, and I'm like, this is hot. Everything's on fire. Everyone's dead. It's just horrible.
No, there's some great goofy shit. Like, but the reason he gets his foot did he get his foot bit off? I wasn't sure exactly.
He picks a giant tooth out of it.
Like, it seemed like he should have at least lost something. But the reason he gets bit in the first place is because he's outswimming a shark, mind you, to the ladder. But then he dicks around. He's like, gotta take off my little booty things. Like, he's taking off his flippers. I'm like, climb the ladder with flippers. What are you out of your mind? There's a shark behind you.
Yeah.
You kidding me? And like he didn't seem to have that big of a problem later after he's already been stabbed and bit. Where like he like palms the shark away, he's like get out of here, and then the shark like hits him with his tail and he falls.
Yo, that stuff is so funny at the end. That's so ridiculous. Yes, the one scene I thought it was her, but it might have been him. Where just like the hand on the snout really quick.
Yeah.
As like that's just footage of the fake shark getting close, and they just touched it, but they used it in the movie. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, the tail out of nowhere. Like picturing where they are and how everything is situated for the tail to come up and hit him in the face is so ridiculous. It makes no sense. And I can enjoy that for for what it is. But it seems like you really like the movie though.
This fits
Like,
like
it's not so
exactly
bad,
the
it's
things
good.
that
You like it.
I enjoy. We're like, hey, I'm big on like, are there a bunch of actors that I know from other things?
I know you like
I
that.
like that.
I know.
Does it have like the loosest of plot? That's all I need. Perfect. Does it have like a creature or monster? Yes, it does. It's just like one of these things where it's like a popcorn idiot movie, but like done correctly, and by correctly I mean on a low budget.
The only way to do it.
Because I
With
get
no money.
angry. I get angry at high budget movies that make the same mistakes because I'm like, you shouldn't. You have money. These are problems that are very easily solved. This they did a lot on what I can only imagine what the budget was because I couldn't find it written anywhere. Did you see it anywhere?
No.
Nah. Because like all these little sets, I'm like they had to build those. They had to do this thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Like,
water involved.
There's like the
That's
same
tough.
bullshit you get in every movie, but then it doesn't end up being the actual payoff. There's always a setup like oh, don't let that go into red, it'll explode and blah 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 blah. You're like, all right, let me see. Foreshadowing. Are they going to kill the shark by going red? Sounds like they could. That seems like a thing.
Blowout.
Blowout. What the hell's a blowout?
The well's about to explode. We're all dead if we don't shut it down.
No, they're not gonna. And like almost every movie does that. And it's like let me subvert your expectations with a drill. Like and I love just the badass machismo stupid scenes of like, all right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hang right here where the drill's like about to come down, dangling my feet into the water because I'm faster than a shark, maybe.
Come on. Open wide, you ugly bastard.
And when I see it coming, I'll scream to then have to rely on my Gumbo boy's reaction time to then pull the lever, which may be the wrong lever because he seems to be colorblind or something.
I believe they were implying he's colorblind.
Then he'll pull it, and that will fly down and kill the shark. I couldn't possibly lose.
Yep.
And that scene happens.
It works.
And I love it.
It totally works. I wouldn't say so. Like I did love that particular scene, but like in the way that I think you're implying of like that's bad. That's like ridiculous.
It's so bad it's
and,
good.
Sure.
Like
but,
the fact that Coolio's name is Ice Shark.
Okay.
And he's fighting a shark, and like the other guy who, what is he, British? I don't know what that guy is.
I meant to go back and like learn his name or figure out who that is.
He's like some shark assassin from like Jamaica or something.
He's like the nature, Steve Irwin-y guy or something like that. I like that character.
I liked him too.
I liked the scene you mentioned earlier, where he's like hands up, hands down, what do you want? And like throws the knife and everything. That's part of this larger thing that I also liked, where so like you have your commandos in these movies, then you have your scientists / whatever, right? Just like the normal people, and they are less prepared. They are more prepared for the strange monster or like the strange happening, but they are less prepared for like the violence and like the stuff that has to happen. So sometimes movies make the mistake of like, oh, Lou Diamond Phillips is also a Navy SEAL, and now he's doing his thing here. Here, they take it so far, and I legitimately, unironically like this. They try to fight off that one guy, and he just whack-a-moles them all in like the room.
Yeah.
Like does not give a fuck, and like Christy Swanson has to be like, stop killing them, and he's like, fine, I'll just grab you and take you out and rape you or whatever, and like and like then they, so like that scene is supposed to be, because right after both of them leave, they start rummaging through like tools, and you're like, oh, that was just like a distraction so they could like get to a tool or like do something to break out. No, and like later they try like a full-on mutiny revolution, which also fails.
Yeah,
Coolio's like, what the fuck are you doing?
You better check yourself when you come round here.
And like there's and because they should be bad at like that part, and these like trained killer people who have guns should be like, what the hell are you? What the hell's wrong with you? Smacking
Well, like
him.
only
putting
the
him
shark
down.
assassin is like a trained fighter.
Yeah.
Coolio's clearly a thug. They even
he's
call
a
out
thug.
his like gun sideways
Yes.
thing. And
Get down, punk.
Can't get us all. Especially holding his piece like he's in some rap video.
You could be first, hero.
he misses almost every shot he ever takes.
But he's
And-
experienced being a thug, is
And
what
that
I'm
makes,
saying.
yes,
Yeah.
he's
Okay.
a much tougher character. But what
Right.
I mean is I like the realism of like, you see this guy do this, but then he's not like, like shooting what is it, space rats or whatever the fuck Star Wars says.
or like that character would know something about like radar or some weird thing,
Yeah.
and you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, exactly.
I love his not
I like
giving a
all
shit.
that.
There's a shark in the water. You might want to tell your divers. Yeah, fuck you.
He's like, fuck off.
I love that shit.
Hey, buddy! There was a shark attack south of here. You might want to tell your divers. See it yourself.
I love Coolio's progression as a character in the movie. Like Coolio starts off with their mission is to go and approach this gentleman who was running ganja for them, and he hid the money before he was caught, and they're going to get him. So he goes to get that guy on the boat, and the guy's like, "Don't you know there's rules about going on a boat? You got to ask for permission."
Chill, Jerry, man. It's me. Ice, baby.
Yeah, I know. Don't you know you need permission to board a man's boat?
And he has his gun, his bullshit. But then the next boat he comes across, he shows that he's learned as a character. He goes, "Permission to board," and I'm like, I like this.
Permission to board?
Granted.
Thanks.
He knows the etiquette now. And then you see a thing where you're like, what at night, this character he's displayed as hating and threatening to kill through the whole thing. You're like, they're sharing a drink. What the fuck? And then like 20 minutes later, you realize they've teamed up and they're double crossing the other guy.
See, my cousin Rick, he paid me chump change and treat me like a scrub, you know what I'm saying? So I got at Jerry, I was like, Jerry.
I'm all like, sum of 3 million or being trunk music. Tough call, huh, Brett?
I'm like, okay, that's something a lesser movie wouldn't have put in there. Like you could catch these little bits.
I was not sure if you were joking or not about character growth.
I am.
I'm still not sure if you're joking.
Well, a little bit, but
I like
it's
it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's fun. I think the characters are fun. I think our evil, like James Bond villain guy in Jamaica or Bermuda, whatever the fuck they're from originally, I think he's almost hysterical. Where like he had like, oh, we've got the piranhas, and like they throw like guppies in, and I'm like, that's not intimidating at all. Like
And like
at
a little
all.
fish tank. It's a very tight shot
You might
of
as
the
well throw in
piranhas.
cucumbers. Like what the fuck?
They should be human fingers.
Something.
Right.
Like honestly though, like what the fuck? Like you just have like one dude just killed a shark, and you're like, my guppies. Eee.
Yeah, but it's played seriously.
It is
No, I
played
agree.
very seriously.
So like I think as a cheesy action movie, I do like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like get rid of the shark. Just like make this
No,
this
I
action
think
movie.
I think it's great to have this like this. It's like a red herring that's just like doing around. Like kind of a pun there because it's fish, whatever. But I think it's nice to have this wild
sharks
card.
are mammals. Okay.
What? I like the wild card that like because you're like, okay, what is going to happen? And ultimately the shark does push the narrative wherever it has to go, and out of convenience usually. It's fun. Like explosions happen that don't seem to drive the shark away. It seems like come force things. I like where our United Nations of Evil like goes and does things. It's just so funny to me like how like the stereotypes of like okay, we got a guy he's from this country, that guy's from this country. We got a rapper. We got this is gonna come off as awesome. We got this thing. We got one model. Can she do the thing from like Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Not as well. Perfect. Have her swim up there. Got it. All right, we did this. It's perfect.
What?
The swim thing where you're like, let me come out of the water.
Christy Swanson or somebody else?
No, some nameless henchwoman.
Oh, like in the intro where they're henching. Exactly. No, you definitely feel the budget there. You feel like the slapdash production values and all that stuff. That part was charming to me. But yeah, I
agree.
The shark I thought was a distraction. It just kind of attacks people. Like sharks have kind of a problem to begin with.
Yeah.
Because you gotta go in the water, right? And they kind of make that work a little where it's like we gotta go turn a valve in the water, and I'm like, okay, cool, and that happens. But in general, a lot of it's just it's kind of like Anaconda in a way, where like the snakes show up at the end or something.
I'd say like my biggest issue with the shark in this is that it is just a shark.
Well,
it's not, there's nothing special about the shark.
I don't even
Why
bring-
is it ravenously eating everything in sight?
So I don't even bring that up anymore because
But based on your open, it could have been something special.
Exactly. I was gonna say. So like I don't bring this up anymore because I always want to be having new material. But my complaint with most of these movies is like that's just an animal. It's just an animal. So why does it have this like, and our Bayou boy does go into some stuff where he kind of says like, oh, the spirit of whatever and the blah 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 blah. Maybe it's this.
I hate those kind of things. They're in a lot of movies.
Yeah, I don't
because
think
you're
that's
taking
a
them
thing.
as like, what am I to believe?
No.
Is that what that is supposed to be? Is your exposition there telling me about a Creole legend?
Yeah.
What I am seeing, or is that just a story and you're wrapping this thing around it?
They call it Jardin de l'Histoire, kind of a spirit that protects a black folk.
With all due respect, I was referring to a man-eating shark, not some spirit in folktale.
Maybe the sharks, the form that spirit takes.
I think if there had been like one thing to hint at the fact that
anything supernatural
that like
at
a
all?
shark should not be able to do that, then we'd be like, okay, maybe. But I don't even think that they opened the door there. I think honestly that's all for a joke that I appreciated when they like get to safety and the bio guy like kisses his like saint of like fisherman's coin, and then Lou Diamond Phillips like kisses his gun because he's like, I know how we got out of that. It wasn't that shit. And like kisses the gun.
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
Don't thank God, thank me.
Thank this.
Thank you, Dr. Hibbert.
Don't thank me. Thank the knife.
So like there's a scene I mentioned earlier where the grandfather dies, but like just prior to him dying, the boat gets like rocked. And he's like, oh, it's probably just driftwood. And I imagine the writer and the cinematographer don't necessarily come face to face here, because there's just a pickup shot of a gator swimming, and they're in Louisiana, I believe. But there's just a shot of a gator swimming, and there are gators in Louisiana. And when the boat gets rocked, the grandfather makes a joke. Ha ha! This could be an alligator.
Or a gator.
And I'm like, it 100% could be an alligator. I don't know why you're fucking around here. There, like what? Like what? And aside from the fact that we literally saw one a moment beforehand, that's something that is regionally available. So that's a little strange. I thought that's a mistake.
Are we scared of alligators if we're in boats?
You should always be scared of something that rocks your boat hard.
Yeah, well, like, do they usually do a thing? Maybe he just bumped. Maybe it's a normal thing as a fisherman in that region to have things, even alligators, bump the boat or something and just be like, it's fine. I don't know.
I feel like any aggressive bumping of my boat, it leads me to pause slightly and not joke.
Well, he's trying to make the little boy feel better.
The way he gets ripped out of that boat by that fishing line, that's hysterical. That's like a springboard that fires him out of there.
And it's like ragdolling off the boat, stuntman doing something. Yeah. I chuckled at that as well.
Everyone worries about the great white. But in fact, the bull shark is responsible for more attacks on people than any other species.
So like the guy, one of the workers, the scuba divers, is in distress, and our Lou Diamond Phillips does a Lou Diamond dive where he like grabs a rock and is like, "Mo!" Like he swings down there.
That was like a plate or something. I thought that is.
I thought it was a piece of slate
to like weigh him down.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was rock or metal, but it was like a like rectangular cut piece of something. Yeah, I thought that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And when Coolio falls into the water holding his money, I thought that this was like training the audience to realize that you would sink down to the bottom if you were holding something heavy, but then the like big box of money just floats, and I was like, damn, I hate you. Yeah,
that's not the best. There's like a Jurassic Park
homage. But that scene is so
dope
when he's badassedly on the bottom of the water. I loved that.
When he gets down there and he grabs the hand and it's not attached to anything, I'm like, hold on to your butts. We are going to preserve the peace and serenity, is what that lady says on the bridge.
Yeah, she's giving a speech about like eco-friendliness or
whatever.
The
best part of that is not that like she's on this very low bridge, that she's attacked by a shark. It is the reaction of the crew. The four of them that aren't like, there's like looking like, are like they barely react at all. And the guy that I think is filming just goes like, damn.
He was looking away, I think.
Well, I think he was looking in the viewfinder.
I thought he was looking away. And something.
Maybe. I took it as he was the one filming, but maybe not.
He was filming, but I think he was like looking away for some reason, and like so like he'll see the footage later of like how she got eaten, but he's like, wait, what or something? I could be wrong too. I have no idea, but that scene did stand out to me for similar reasons. I think they're like her students, or they're doing like a tour or something. It's a
I don't
weird
know.
it's a weird vibe. And yes, the bridge is like submerged in the water.
There are bridges like
in
that.
the middle. Yes, but
because
it's
water goes up and down, and
but it is
it's very funny.
It is
just,
extremely
it's the way the
funny.
shark dips through. But I think though, for a movie that, like you said, the shark is very much a minor role of the whole thing. For a movie that's like named after a shark, that shows a shark on the cover, the shark is not in it a ton. But I think that is what makes it more the impressive, that the shark looks pretty good. That it's like a big practical shark. That's not a shitty CG from early 2000s. That it's an actual fucking prop. I can't speak highly enough about that because we've watched a bunch of movies that haven't looked as good, that feature something a lot more and are a lot shittier.
I don't usually care too much, and again, like this didn't jump out at me as like an unusually good shark. I was just like, that's fine, whatever.
I think because you thought it was real.
Yeah. It looked like a big foam bad shark.
Nah, it's like beautiful.
When its
rubber.
head like came in or whatever, I was like,
that's what sharks look like.
What?
That was actually the live footage.
What did I say now? Release the brake!
When the part where Lou Diamond Phillips is in the water and the shark is coming at him, and like his bayou buddy is like, "Stay still." He's like, "Stay still, stay still." Okay.
Stay still, partner. John! Stay still! Stay still, he won't think you're prey.
He looks back, it's still swimming at him. Fuck this!
Fuck that!
And he starts to swim. It's like, "Stay still." I thought it would work. Or what?
Yeah, because there's even that line after of like, "Stay still," and he's like, it works sometimes.
Stay still, huh? Usually works.
Like trying to be like, fuck.
I thought that was good. I think just the amount of people who don't seem to understand that like sharks and alligators and like things that are fucking water predators are fast and humans can't outswim them. They don't like come at you like a fucking floating buoy like how every movie always shows it. I think it's just always so funny.
Like a giant rubber thing being dragged by a boat.
Kinda.
Would, yes.
Like it might be on a rope literally tied to you as you swim, so it's staying the exact distance away. That wouldn't be dumb. That would be pretty genius, actually.
That'll be our low budget spin-off.
Yeah. Tub. It all takes place in a bathtub.
Fishing wire.
Get your ass off that ladder before I knock you off.
Who you giving orders? Fool?
We hinted at this earlier. I thought it was a great scene when Coolio does shoot that guy in the leg.
Yeah.
And being like, oh shit.
I kind of hated that guy.
Shit
So to
just
see
got
him get
real.
his comeuppance, like, yeah, lose your phone, get shot,
Yeah.
fuck off, die for blood loss. I don't give a shit.
Yes, because he's like the fish out of water. Because he's not he's not one of them. He's kind of like forced to be there. And yeah, he ends up injured. He ends up dying. It's very like grim for him.
Almost
And I think it's
everyone
fitting.
dies.
Well,
so
yes.
that's what's pretty good about everything.
He's not instantly cut in half by a shark. He dies cold and and alone with.
I was right.
Blue Diamond Phillips' belt around his leg or whatever.
Our oil rig guys mostly die hot because they like exploded in fire because shit hit red.
Yes.
Coolio has a great line where he's like, "Drop the knife, inbred."
Inbred, lose the knife. You too, get your asses down here. Think I'm playing with you? Get your big head ass down here.
Yeah.
It's like, that's good.
He's taking control of the situation.
Yeah.
I liked that the Steve Irwin and like Coolio are constantly butting heads.
Yeah.
Where the one dude's like, "Fucking put the gun down, stop it," and he's like, "Nah, man, we gotta shoot motherfuckers." Yeah, it's like a good, he's like a liability. And then he ends up being the one who double crosses that dude instead of what you would have thought. Like, you would think that this movie involves Coolio being greedy for the money and then dying to the shark, which almost happens, kind of, in a way.
That almost literally happens.
Get out of here, the engine's gonna blow! Give me that money! Give me that money!
But like, not like directly. He doesn't ever have like a choice. He's just like,
well, he kind of.
I want this money, right?
He wanted them, like the shark is biting the money, and he's like, "Give me the money."
Well, once you're in the water, you're like fucked.
But he's like collecting dollar bills and like screaming like, "Yeah, sharks can't fuck with me," and then dies.
He was like,
so that's a choice to die.
He was.
I'm the shark. That's why I got the money. You know what I'm saying?
it's like, fuck you, look at this, I win, or something.
Yeah.
You would also think that Steve Irwin is like, I appreciate the majestic of the beast, and like, Lou Diamond Phillips, you've earned my respect, so even though I'm a criminal, it's the code of the seasman, and I'm gonna give my life, or like help, or I'm already gonna die, so I'm gonna do something good, or something.
Or repay the kindness that Christy Swanson has showed me in saving my life.
Absolutely.
What did you think about the dynamite attempts? He like went into a car and he's firing harpoons with dynamite on them. Now, this is such a risky maneuver because you know that it's going to come to you because it's trying to kill you in the in the car. Now, if you shoot it with something that's about to explode and it's trying to kill you, you run a high risk of exploding. Now, even if it does swim away once it's shot and then explode, I'm pretty sure if an explosion happens underwater, that's not good for you.
No, it's bad, but he's a badass. And
He is
knows
a badass.
he has to kill his shark.
He has an accent. I know this.
He has an accent. He's wearing a wetsuit all the time.
It's red.
He's got a knife. That knife in the.
It's like when he pulled his little Band-Aid off and like you just see blood.
When does that happen? When he's doing that?
When he's first calling the shark over to him, he takes it off so that it will go for the blood.
I love that multiple people get like
every single person gets a paper cut just for fun.
Yes, but then they don't do anything with that. But the idea that like that, that must explain why the normal shark is a ravenous hunter. It's an interesting thing to put into the movie.
Yeah.
That dude though, I love that there's a car under the water. I think that's a cool little set piece to do. The explosion that you see looks horrible.
That is one of the weakest parts of the movie.
That may be what that's supposed to look like, but it still looks horrible to me. But his death moment I thought was interesting when he just kind of like gives up and like looks at the shark and says like, "You want my blood? Take my blood." He has this weird moment under the water because they like dunk him. The way he falls looks really interesting, and then him like looking up and being like, "Ah, the shark, I'm home."
Because he like pops him. He's like, I'm like, oh, you get him
with like a sharpened piece of rebar or some weird thing. It's like a broken piece of metal. It's
big
like
piece of metal.
It's bad. You can tell he's like, like he's not having a good time. So like overall, I thought, like I was saying before, like I don't think it's worth it necessarily.
Yeah, the shark looks great. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Damn, homie. Was it a shark?
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinions.